Dow Jones stock average dipped under 4,000 points today.
You see it in the stock market's volatility.
It's
violent wealth loss.
It's bad for the rich people. Can you imagine how bad it is for me and you?
Good evening, America. I'm Jay Knight. Our nation is slipping deeper and deeper into a crisis never seen before. Oil and gas shortages have crippled manufacturing and transportation across...
While conflicts in the Mideast have virtually cut off all oil imports to the United States.
What are you saying? Are you saying that the American people aren't taking care of their own country?
Global States Oil Corporation suffered yet another major spill off the Gulf Coast.
We're seeing an unprecedented, totally unexpected
And as a result,
collapse.
rail travel has reemerged as the only affordable means of freight and passenger transportation.
Mr. Speaker, we would like to propose a bill to make it illegal to fire employees from profitable corporations.
Our government has put a moratorium on all wage increases and recently passed the Fair Price Bill, restricting increases in the price of most goods and services. This is your wake-up call, America.
Another government relief ship was hijacked late last night by pirate Ragnar Daneskjöld.
Violence and crime are skyrocketing throughout the nation.
Engaged. Not locked up. Shift into manual.
Good evening, and welcome to the Jay Knight Hour. My guests tonight are James Taggart, CEO of Taggart Transcontinental Railroad, Wesley Mouch, a noted Washington lobbyist from the Philadelphia law firm Young, Stevens & Sachs, and Ellis Wyatt, the oil and gas entrepreneur who is responsible for the current economic boom in Colorado. My first question is to Mr. Taggart. Sir, your company is one of the few managing to survive in our current economic downturn, yet there have been dozens of derailments on your lines in the last year alone. How do you explain that?
With any growth, there can be growing pains. People shouldn't have to worry about how they're going to get where they need to go. We must act to benefit society as a whole.
People aren't going to be going anywhere without oil. That means the railroads like Mr. Taggart's need to be fixing their railways here instead of adding new ones like those in Mexico.
Could I get a cup of coffee?
He makes a very good point, Mr. Taggart.
Do you have any money?
Our motto is...
I got plenty of money.
And Taggart Transcontinental is committed to sharing the burden in these tough...
Hey, what happened to you?
Expanding our lines into more and more territories.
Who's John Gall?
We don't need more rail lines. We just need the ones we have to be reliable.
Mr. Mouch, let me ask you, what can the government do to help turn things around?
Well, prices are too high. We have a nation in crisis. Every business must lend a helping hand, Mr. Wyatt. Gasoline prices are $37.50 a gallon. The Mideast has imploded, creating a worldwide oil shortage.
We have plenty of oil right here in the U.S.
Oh, joy.
But because of political shenanigans and backroom
One
deals,
slice
we're
of
still
cherry
dependent
pie,
on foreign
as
oil.
usual.
The
Punctual as
problem
always.
now is reliable transport.
And Taggart Transcontinental is providing Wyatt Oil excellent rail transportation in order to get his oil to the people.
Your Rio Norte line is so incompetent that I've had to switch to the Phoenix Durango.
Yes, after years of excellent service from us.
From your father. Since you've taken the reins, that company has gone right
Gentlemen,
downhill.
let's stay on
Everybody
topic.
knows that.
Have caused consumers to be less reliant on
Are you
trucks.
kidding me? You couldn't get my
dry
grandmother
now.
from Denver to
See you
Chicago.
tomorrow, Mr. Mulligan.
They have gone to the railroads for the benefits that they provide.
People can't count on companies like Taggart Transcontinental to deliver.
Midas Mulligan. Who's asking?
Someone who knows what it's like to work for himself and not let others feed off the profits of his energy.
It's funny. Exactly what I've been thinking.
We're alike, you and I.
Who are you?
Eddie. What? No, Hold on, hold on.
The Dow Jones stock average dipped under 4,000 points today. This is the deepest one-day drop
No,
we've
not yet.
seen
I'm trying
since
another
the low
channel.
of 5,300.
Simply one of the worst railroad accidents in recent history. A Taggart transcontinental freight train has crashed and derailed in Colorado's Rocky Mountain region. Early reports are putting much of the blame on the poor condition of the 100-year-old railroad line. This rail disaster could delay eastbound oil shipments by at least 2 weeks. The accident is yet another downturn for Taggart Transcontinental, the largest railroad remaining in the U.S.
I'm on my way in.
I already know about the derailment on the Rio Norte line, Eddie.
These are the cancellations. People are giving up trying to use the line. Their business is going to the Phoenix Durango.
I have new steel rails coming from Oren
That
Boyle.
order is 13 months old. The Phoenix Durango has cut deeply into our shipping business. They now expect to have Wyatt Oil as their main account.
He needs us as much as we need him.
Ellis Wyatt has put Taggart Transcontinental on notice. He'd rather backlog, for Christ's sake, with any competitor than ship anything
Wyatt's a
more
greedy bastard. You know, we've been serving the Colorado region since my great-great-grandfather ran this company. What happened to loyalty, Eddie?
Perhaps the problem is we haven't updated that branch since your father ran the company.
Are you accusing me of not doing my job? Be careful, Eddie. There's one thing I learned from my father. Everyone's expendable.
Let me be very clear, James. Colorado is our last hope. If we don't do something about it, there's not gonna be a railroad.
I'm still the president of this company, regardless of my sister.
Morning. Eddie, can you give us a minute? I need to have a conversation with my brother.
A meeting without your right-hand man. Must be real important.
I've ordered the replacement rails for the Rio Norte line from Weird and Steel.
I have a contract with Oren Boyle.
You had a contract with Oren Boyle. I canceled it.
You have no authority.
As much authority as you had to do a backdoor deal with Oren Boyle. There are consequences to this accident, Jim. We have to service Ellis Wyatt. He is this company's main priority.
You just love to keep feeding the monopolies, don't you?
If you keep pissing off the heart of this operation, Wyatt is going to stop providing the blood we need to keep this company alive. Do you understand that?
Why go with Weird and Steel when there are smaller companies that actually need the money?
It's just new metal.
That metal's completely untested. The consensus of the best metallurgical authorities are highly skeptical.
I'm not interested in their opinions.
Then whose do you go by?
My own.
What on earth do you know about Reardon metal?
It is tougher, cheaper, lighter than steel, and will outlast any hunk of metal in existence.
Says who?
I studied engineering in college, Jim. When I see things, I see them.
Well, what do you see?
Reardon's plans and the research he's done. This is the greatest metal on the market.
Dagny, nobody's used Reardon metal.
We will.
Why do we have to be the first?
Do you want to save Colorado or not?
I'm not taking responsibility for any of this.
You don't have to take responsibility, Jim. I will. Just know that this is the consequence of your policies.
Which policies?
Your 13-month experiment with Oren Boyle, for one. The Mexican catastrophe, for another. The bottom line is that we were going to fix the Rio Norte line with Reardon metal. I'm going to Philadelphia tonight to finalize the deal with Hank Reardon.
You're lucky.
What?
Other people are human. They're sensitive. They can't just dedicate their whole lives to metals and engines. You've never had any feelings. I don't think you've ever felt a thing.
No, Jim. I guess I've never felt anything at all.
And it's very nice.
Gwen, it's beautiful.
You have more messages, Mr. Reardon. National Council of Metal Industries.
File it.
The State Science Institute.
File it.
United Metalworkers Guild. Your last appointment of the day is here. Miss Taggart, he'll see you now.
Mr. Reardon.
Miss Taggart, if you're here for your rails, they won't be tempered and cooled for a few days.
I'm just here to discuss our deal.
Please sit.
So, what's the premium to rush these rails?
$40,000 a ton.
And that's the best price that you can give me.
I could charge you double and you'd pay.
You could. And I would. But you won't.
Why won't I?
You need to have the Rio Norte re-railed with your new metal because it'll be its first showcase. And I'm gambling your new metal can do what you say it can.
I'm staking my business on it.
I know what you mean. Like I said, we need each other. So, if you can have the Rio Norte completely re-railed in 9 months, I will give you $20,000 a ton.
Deal. I'm curious.
Is it all right with you that I'm squeezing every penny of profit I can from your emergency?
I have to get the Rio Norte completely re-railed in 9 months or Taggart Transcontinental will crash.
They're doing their best to make it harder for you, aren't they?
Yes, but it's useless to get angry with people like my brother and his friends in Washington. I don't have time for it. I have to undo what they've done.
And after?
After, they won't matter anyway.
I was just heading out myself. Can I walk you to your car?
Do you need a ride?
No, thank you. I walk home most nights. Gives me a chance to think.
Well, I hope that doesn't catch on. You put me out of business. If your new metal works, have you thought of the implications?
Yeah, the uses are almost endless. Naval ships, armor plating, even spacecraft. Can you imagine a commercial jet twice the size with half the weight?
Commercial airlines. You really do want to put me out of business, huh?
So you remember there was like
I love this
20 people in front of me, right? I can't believe I did this. And
Well, look who's finally home. Henry, Paul's been waiting here for hours.
Hello, Henry.
Hey, Paul. I know. I'm late.
Could have called. Henry, do you mind holding the 10th of December open for me?
That's 3 months away. I don't know what I'm doing next week. We started a major new pour today.
Oh, it's our wedding anniversary, Henry. December 10th.
Henry isn't interested in anything that doesn't tie into his work.
I know that you are very busy, but I would very much like for